Hello and welcome to our 6th YouTube video. The headlines say one thing, the market says something else. So what actually happened in July? What changed this month? Before we look at any individual community or investment opportunity, let's start with the big picture. What actually has happened in Dubai real estate market this last month? If I had to summarize July in one sentence, it would be this. The market didn't become weaker. It still continues to be more selective. Buyers are taking more time before making a decision. They're asking more questions. They're negotiating harder. And they're focusing much more on quality and value than they were doing a year ago. That's not necessarily a bad thing. In my opinion, it's actually a sign of healthier and a more mature market. As for the buyer sentiment over the past month, geopolitical uncertainty has naturally made some buyers more cautious. Some investors have chosen to wait for more clarity before committing significant capital. But what's interesting is that caution hasn't translated into people's abandoning the market. Serious buyers are still active. They are simply being more selective about what they're buying and how much they're paying for it. Property Finder's latest consumer survey reflects this best. Nearly 2/3 of all buyers are still intending to purchase in the next 6 months, but the expectations of falling prices have eased comparing with the earlier in the year. In geopolitical tensions continue to dominate the headlines throughout July. Whenever uncertainty increases, the first reaction is usually emotional. Some buyers pause, some investors wait, and some postpone decision makings altogether. But history has shown that Dubai's real estate market often behaves differently from financial markets. Stock markets can react immediately to headlines. Real estate, however, usually reacts more slowly and is more driven by long-term fundamentals. We certainly saw periods of caution this month, but we definitely didn't see any kind of widespread panic selling that many people feared. Interest rates remain another important factor to watch. Financing costs still influence affordability, especially for mortgage buyers. But for Dubai luxury market, where a significant share of purchases are made in cash, interest rates usually carry less or no impact at all, as opposed to the Western markets. What matters most is confidence. If confidence improves, transactions activities usually increase. So how would I describe overall market confidence today? I'd call it cautiously optimistic. Buyers are no longer rushing into every opportunity. They want evidence, they compare options, they negotiate harder. And frankly, I think that's exactly how they should have always behaved from the beginning. In today's market, discipline becomes more valuable than speed. In residential transactions, the first half of 26 closed roughly about 86,000 residential sales, depending on the dataset and classifications used, making it a strong first half of the year. Even though it was below the expectations and the pace of 2025 same time. But looking more closely at the recent activity, June recorded almost 14,000 residential sales. A strong rebound from May, which is evidence that demand remained resilient despite regional conflict. To me, these numbers tell an important story. The market hasn't stopped, it's just evolving. Buyers are becoming more selective, but quality properties, especially those that are priced right and are located in established communities, continue to attract strong interest. So that's the overall picture. But here's where things get really interesting. People often make this mistake when they're talking about Dubai's real estate market as if it's a single market. Well, in reality, it's actually two markets moving in a kind of a different direction. Let's start with the ready market. Demand for quality ready properties remain strong, particularly among end users who want immediate occupancy and certainty about what they're buying. Well-priced homes in established communities continue to attract healthy interest. In the off-plan market, on the other hand, it continues to dominate transactions volume, driven by new launches and attractive payment plans offered by the developers. But buyers have become much more selective. Today, the developer's reputation and the quality of the project and its location matter more than they did a few years ago. Looking at the luxury segment, demand remains remarkably resilient. Prime waterfront villas, branded residences, and trophy properties continue to attract high net worth individuals from around the world, although buyers are negotiating more carefully and being more cautious. In the mid-market, activities remain healthy, especially in the established communities that offer good value, strong rental demand, and quality infrastructure. Buyers in these segments are increasingly focusing on affordability and long-term value rather than simply chasing the next launch. So with different parts moving in different directions, which communities stood out the most in July and why? Palm Jumeirah continues to show remarkable resilience in the luxury segment. Demand for these prime waterfronts remain healthy, supported by international high net worth individuals and the limited supply. In Dubai Hills, it continues to be one of the strongest family communities in Dubai. Well-priced properties are still attracting consistent interest from both end users and investors alike. JVC remains popular with investors looking for relatively affordable entry prices and attractive rental yields, making it one of the city's most attractive market communities. And finally, Dubai South continues to generate attention, driven by new launches, infrastructure development, and long-term growth potential around Al Maktoum International Airport and the Expo City. Each of these communities tell a different story, and that's exactly why it's so important to understand the market beyond the news headlines. And one thing the buyers should pay very close attention to this month is the price discipline. Buyers today are becoming much more well-informed. They are comparing properties, they negotiate more confidently, and they're no longer willing to pay just any price simply because a property is in a popular community. My advice is simple. Focus on a good value property with a good location and not just the location itself. Great communities will always attract demand, but even in the best communities, an overpriced property is still an overpriced property. I believe the next month's opportunities will be found by buyers who stay patient, negotiate well, and focus on fundamentals rather than just the news headlines. Opportunity of the month? If I had to highlight one opportunity this month, it would be the quality ready resale property in the luxury segment. And here's why. Buyers today have more negotiating power than they did a year ago, and many sellers have become more realistic with their pricings. That creates an opportunity to acquire a premium property at a better value than we've seen during the peak of the market. And my advice to you would be this: don't look for the cheapest property you can find. Instead, look for the best value property. The biggest risk I see this month is making an investment decision based on the headlines rather than the fundamentals. Markets are always influenced by news, whether it's geopolitics, interest rates, or global economic uncertainties. But headlines can change overnight. A quality property in a strong community doesn't. My advice to you is this: Don't let short-term emotions drive your long-term decisions. Stay focused on the location, quality, pricing, and your investment objectives. Those are the factors that create long-term value, not the headlines. And question of the month? One question I've been getting a lot is that, should I buy this month or should I wait? My answer is that depends less on the market and more on the property. If you find a quality property in the right community at the right price, I don't believe waiting for the sake of waiting is a good approach. And on the other hand, if a property is overpriced or doesn't fit your long-term objectives, patience is golden here. Don't try to time the market perfectly. It is not the stock market. Focus on buying the right property at the right value. And my takeaway for July is simple. The market is no longer rewarding everything, it's rewarding quality. If you are considering buying in Dubai and would like an objective opinion before making your decision, I'll be more than happy to help. Subscribe for my Market Pulse released at the end of every month, plus the weekly insights into Dubai real estate market. Invest with logic, not emotion.